So if you keep walking a lot barefoot, you get better at it. So what you want is, you want an active lifestyle, you want to move, and you want to do so consciously. Consciously.
Okay. I don't know what happened yesterday. I came back, I recorded Try Darkness. You know what I'm saying, I'm dressed all in white. And then I slept at some stage. And now I have this pain in my neck. So now I'm trying to work this out. So I've been doing a bit of, when you stand like this and then you just see where the pain comes from. Right, you just feel into it. It's an intense kind of sensation. Wow. It's connected to somewhere here. It's possibly, so here there's a spot that I can do acupressure on. In order to do acupressure, you need strong hands, which means that holding planks on your fingers, is a very good idea. So you can start to work with the pain instead of running away from it. Now, I have chosen the woman that was the most painful to love, because I'm a sucker for pain, my friend. And so I always kind of work myself to the breaking point. And this is also a bit yoga, this is a bit tantra. It's because you're both in so much pain that you're craving time with each other, and you reject every other offer that came to you. You know, that's how devoted you should be to your lover. This is the true thing. But instead of Romeo and Julieting it, right, you have no escape plan. So if your lover dies, then you have to suffer until it ends for you. But knowing that you know them, you knew them, right? That's the real struggle. That's the point. I'm just holding it. This is what you should do normally if you have headaches, instead of just taking something. To numb the pain, you have to work with the pain. Yawning is a good sign, because apparently there is some kind of blockage. If there's a blockage, then what does that mean? Energy is piling up, piling up, piling up. Because we're working with meridians, we're working with chakras, we're working with energy centers, we're working with energy activation points. You're channeling energy, but to understand it like completely is too complex. Which is why what you're doing is you're simply working with the symptom, and then you try to find the root. So now I have the symptom. So it could be all kinds of things, right? We're all energetic beings. If somebody hates me, projects their hate onto me, then this is like a dagger. Wow, this movement just hurt. I just did this. But there seems to be the spot here. It's very hidden. Sometimes you have to search for these spots. And now that I'm holding this, I'm feeling pain here as well. So I clearly have to do my exercises. So if you meet an energy healer, somebody who says who's an energy healer, and who works like this, forget it, man. Forget it. If he cannot heal himself, then how conscious can he be? He cannot heal anyone if his energy is blocked. Because what we call Reiki is just what you can do yourself. Anyone can do that as long as they do their cleansing, harden their body, and learn how to channel energy out of their hands. I mean, I can channel energy up. I can channel energy into art. I can channel energy into my body after I have maybe had a traumatic experience or eaten a heavy meal. You know, traumatic experiences are also heavy meals, and then I need to digest them. So what do? I stand there, I lay there, I often lie in bed, and then you simply have to make the experience. If you are fond of cannabis, I say stop smoking. If you do, never smoke with tobacco, never ever. And if you do smoke, then smoke with the intention to let go of smoking at one point. So while you're smoking, you already start preparing yourself to make the jump out of smoking again. Smoking may teach you something, but you slowly but surely replace it with breath. What you want to do is you want to stop smoking, because in the time that you smoke, you could be holding planks. Right? You could be standing here recording your content. You could be talking about acupressure. You could be teaching people how to make stinging nettle pesto. I mean, you could do so many things instead of smoking. Smoking is just boredom. It's just a waste of time, and it's just a very bad replacement for breath, because what gets you high is not the smoking, It's the inhaling deeply. And that's what I have found to be very true. If I inhale deeply like this, and I press out my chest, now it's hard. I get dizzy, and I get high. I have moments where I have all this pressure on my head, there's this buzzing in my ears. Now I have practiced this. Aua. The first time I did this, I have described it in my podcast, in Shamanic Diary of a Yogi somewhere. I was walking, I came from somewhere, I felt this intense pressure on me, like something was trying to bind me or hold me, or, you know, as I would call it, work a spell on me, because yoga is also in a sense witchcraft, is in a sense voodoo. It's just a different word for it. It's just channeling energy, and some people, they have a lot of like the negative stuff and they try to do something to you. So what did I do was, I just had this feeling, breathe really deep into your stomach, like fill your lungs with a lot of energy, or air, which is energy of course. And then you have a full, and then you bring that energy up into your chest and you kind of like compress it or something, and then you press out your chest like this. And then suddenly it's like, and I have moments where I do this where suddenly it's everything super clear. But these moments never really last forever. But it's, you know, whatever you do, whatever method you use in yoga is always a temporary relief. But you're gonna get better at it. But the pressure is going to build up again. That's always gonna happen. Why? Because yoga is about spiritual growth. And as you continue along your path, right, you do certain things that help you grow, that help you blow your mind. Every time you blow your mind, the perception you have of yourself changes. And every time the perception you have of yourself changes, means you've just added a new experience to who you thought you were. Oh wow, I'm the guy who can also do this? You know, I'm the guy who can stay silent for that long, right? I'm the guy who can make this, do that, crochet, do knitting. Wow, you mean, what's a woman, what's a man? Well, one impregnates, the other gives birth. Maybe that's all there is to it in the terms of difference between man and woman. So what's the point of bickering about having a penis? I think I have to be a woman. Well then do crochet in a manly way. You're never gonna be a woman. I don't care about next life or whatever. Just accept this. You've been given a penis, it's very nice to please a woman sexually, right? So find the woman that you really want to please. No other woman. Just find one woman that you really want to please and then just be the man. Just try to see her in your mind. Just try to feel her on the other side, right? Because she's probably trying to escape into you as well. Well, if she's trying to escape into you, well then you've got the best chance to become a father, my friend. And if that's the case, then you just have to make sure you wait, right? You hone your skills, you keep walking, and then you just live in this feeling, wow, you know, I might actually meet her one day. I don't know, that's just what I'm doing. I've met her already, I just hope to meet her again. And until that day comes, I'm just trying to be, you know, better than everyone else. Because I'm afraid of losing her, believe me. I'm afraid that she would get bored and jump ship. I'm just saying, I may have done a lot of things and I may appear like I have it all together. You know, I'm just talking from the perspective that you could see myself as when you look at just what I'm doing. But I'm simply doing what I can. You know? I'm just doing the most that I can to earn a living in a world that just try to live on the surface. Anyway, you know, I actually didn't want to talk, and now you got me to talk again. You see? Do you feel ashamed now? No. So do you feel ashamed if people accept certain treatments and then they suffer the consequences and then they blame it onto you? Or if people have neglected their health and then some kind of thing happens and everybody's like, oh my God, you know, everybody's gonna die. We have to take the treatment. And then you're like, well, but I'm not gonna take it. And then they're like, so because of you, my grandparents are gonna die. So are you gonna feel ashamed? Just because they try to shame you into sucking up to everyone else? I think not, my friend. I think you're just gonna stand there and say, well, freedom of speech, right? Why are you discriminating me? That's the best response you can give anyone who's trying to shame you into doing something you don't want. Are you trying to discriminate the way I feel about this kind of a treatment, you know? I'm really afraid of needles. You know, I hate needles, you know? I'd rather jump from a bridge, you know? How can you do this to me? I mean, you have full range. You can act. You just have to remember what your actual position is. But sometimes you just have to flash people the way they actually make you feel. Because otherwise you're just gonna carry that, or you just stand there like this. I mean, I have had people who tried to like, they wanted to manipulate me, and I refused to give them what they wanted. They were like, they wanted to hit me. They wanted to attack me because they couldn't control me. But at some stage they just gave in, right? So, I mean, what can I really say to you that's not been said already? Well, I can just show you. So this is something that clearly needs a lot of work. I'm probably just going to go into this yoga session, but I'm going to leave this recording. I'm going to turn this off now. Why? And then I'm going to move into the yoga session. Why? Well, I can tell you, because first of all, I said I'm not going to talk. Okay? I'm not going to talk, you know? As charming as I am, I've got a huge shadow. I'm just saying. But that's the beauty about it. I love my shadow, right? And if you love your own shadow, then how easy do you think is it to love your wife? Like all facets of her. Like the greedy, angry one, the loving, buzzing one. I mean, how easy is it to love people's ugly sides if you know how to love yours? And then they try to get you to hate them and you're like, hey man, I'm your friend anyway, but don't come to my place, please. No, seriously. I mean, I'll be your friend on the other side. But if you come knocking, I'm gonna give you a teaching. You know, if you ask for help, then I have to assume that you're struggling, which means that your shadow, right, is tricking you. So I think I just have to scare you to death a little, and that's gonna convince you, oh, maybe I should pick up on my work because that guy did it, And if I keep seeing him, then he's just gonna scare the shit out of me every time he sees me. So I'll just have to pick up on my spiritual work. I'll just have to, you know, do the sweeping, right? Just listen to Mr. Miyagi or something without picking fights. Because freedom also requires being peaceful during times like this. Because, you know, if you go around like haunting people, you'll get haunted, right? I mean, law of attraction. Law of attraction. If you always give in to weakness, then weakness ye shall get. Right? And then people like me are just gonna scare you simply because they're tough. I mean, I'm just gonna stand there and just gonna be like, "Ugh." But even in your you may have thought that you're the toughest guy around because you look how well I can smoke. But I'm so sad. Sad about what? I don't know. Then go hiking. Take off your shoes and go hiking. What are you talking about? I cannot hike like this. Psh, go hiking, man. You know, I'll be the whip. Believe me, I could do it. But I'll rather hold planks and give it to you from a distance. So yeah, I've had a couple of days now where I thought I could just masturbate again. It's too much pressure. It's so orgasmic. I mean, everybody wants an orgasm, but if you stop masturbating and the energy starts accumulating and everything's super orgasmic, you're like, no, that's too much. I have to get rid of it. It's like, why? You wanted orgasms, you wanted sex, and now you're alone in your room and the energy is building and you're like, I have these moments. Believe me, it's super weird. I mean, you stand there, you make an artwork, and then you feel this insane pressure, and what do? Well, I often have lower back stuff, and then you've got this pressure down here. And the problem as a man is, right? That's the problem you have as a man. That's the greatest challenge. But you want to be rock hard. So that this beautiful woman, no matter how she looks like, because you're always attracted to spirit, right? And then it doesn't matter, because to you she's the most beautiful thing that ever existed, and you just want to love her. You just want to have her. Just give her stability. So you have to be rock hard so that the connection is stable. I'm just saying. I'm just testing my way into this, right? To me, it's real. And then sometimes you have to do this. You have this muscle down here, and the method, you may call it squeeze it. So if you're going hiking and you're running out of juice, you just clench down the muscles between your anus. Uranus got your back. What? Between your anus and your scrotum, there's these muscles, I think they're called the pelvic floor. And this is what women also should train, by the way. Right? It makes it so much easier to give birth. If you're lazy, it's just gonna explode out of you. So you have to be able to gently release the child into life. And for that, your pelvic floor has to be strong. Plus, if you train these muscles and the energy builds up and you feel like I have to masturbate, then what do? You just clench down on these muscles and suddenly it's like, I'm just faking that, but I'm having these moments. So you also have to learn how to stand. You know, it's not just, yeah, well, I'm just standing. No, man. You have to learn to properly stand, and that's gonna take years to figure out. Probably like this. But if you just stand all the time, so you have to learn to, what everybody's been talking, everybody's been telling you this already for years. So instead of standing like this so that you can walk around with a really nice butt, he's got such a good butt, you do like this. And then you clench down tighten your. But it's tough, you know. I'm resisting these things because I don't think I should have something nice in my life. Plus, it's just so hard to imagine. Which is why I don't imagine it, just work towards it. Because if you imagine it, it's just gonna make you masturbate. So you have to wait for the woman to come to you, and for that you have to build up the energy and then just have it there, and she'll just come. Now I can be with you. And the thing I hate the most about this, or reject about this, is that I have to do something to get something. But that's the law of attraction. You try to attract something into your life. How are you gonna do that? Well, right? I mean, how should a weak magnet attract a strong one? The strong magnet attracts the weak one. And there may be a case where, you know, the woman is strong, and there may be the case where the man is strong. So if you can hold your position as a man, and you attract exactly one woman into your life, which is your wife. So you never run after women, you just wait till the right one comes, and then it's like, wow, I felt like you were there all along. But now you're there. But in order for manifestation to actually happen, right, you have to channel the energy, like compress it, right? And so you have to learn to have a strong body. And then to just relax into it. And then you can stand. I mean, there's probably a way where you can stand for hours and just be like this. I mean, there's people who stand while sleeping. Wow, that's a good challenge. I just have to stand all the time. I mean, I just have to stop sleeping so much. But it's just so hard because every time I get tired, I'm like, oh, it's better to sleep. And then I wake up, it's like, neck pain. Why can't I just stay awake? Why can't I just do yoga all the time? You know, darkness, the darkness is too much, it's taking me over. Where's the light? The light! I can't see it. I mean, putting up an act like this is so liberating, my friend, because you just take your own bullshit and you turn it into a comedy, which it is anyway. But you want to be a bit serious about life. I mean, if I wouldn't be serious about YouTube, then you wouldn't see me anymore. Then I'd be just like, hey yo, what's going on? But I'm not like that, you know? I'm just imitating it because I have these parts as well. I'm just trying to get rid of them. You know, I look at them like, yeah, I know that guy. Bam! You know? Compression. You just compress it, mix it into something else, and it's like, ta-da! You know? Suddenly it's, I don't know, that hat I wanted to crochet. That I've been talking, I want to crochet that hat. I'm waiting for this woman, but she'll never come anyway. It's like, I mean, I have nights where I just want to hit myself. To resist that urge is really hard, but I've managed. So, I have had people do me things because they controlled me with their minds. I feel like nobody controls me any longer. But if you ask for help, you're gonna get it, and you may not like it because it's gonna be intense. Because if you need help, then you're probably close to death. And if I tickle you, it's like a scorpion tickling a baby, okay? Because A scorpion knows how to protect itself, plus a scorpion has a hard shell. Plus, scorpions know how to creep into holes and to hold their ground, right? And they're always like this, you know? Walking around like this. If I get you, whoosh, I'm gonna grab you. And if I'm gonna grab you, my poison is truth, my friend. Or is it venom? Shwam! Like, yeah, I just got some truth. But what kind of truth? I don't know, man. Doesn't matter. Something like, I think it was a centipede. Something bit me. Jesus. I mean, parents can be really scary, my friend. Like, really scary. I'm just saying, parents can be really scary. I mean, suddenly you realize, wait, with who did Loki have Fenrir again? I mean, just imagine my parents' position, having a child like me. It's like, where did that guy come from? And if you think your siblings are weak, and your life is a mess, then you're not seeing, right? Every time you speak bad about your siblings, they like jinx you. And now we drop the like and start the hard work, right? And I don't care. I'm just probably gonna have a sip of red wine and then get into it. I'm just saying, So, devotion is if you keep going whether or not she comes. You just also have to do it for yourself. Because otherwise you'll just be clinging to her. And then I'll rather have her clinging to me in a way. But she probably won't do that. Yeah, my doorbell is still turned off. My phone is on silent. I'm just rendering a video. Good choice, bad choice. And now I will move on into the future where I have already recorded all the videos for 2025. Right? But all in due time. Creation takes time. Watching movies takes time. So reduce watching movies and increase creation. Reduce listening to other people's music and increase making your own music. Just take the instrument that you would like to work with. I have a couple that I continuously pick up and just play around a bit with, and then when I make my new album, I'll have it. Learn how to write, learn how to express yourself. I mean, this is an entire life full of learning, and this is what life should be like. You see, it's so stupid, man. It's so stupid. You see me, but I don't see myself that way. I'm like this, right? I'm not this, I'm like this. Which is why I'm greedy for touching and experiences and, I never let a woman do all the work. I was usually the one that did most of it. So I just wanted someone who also knows how to put in the work. Whatever, man.